In this video, we'll go through the first project in the section Information Security and Quality Assurance on FreeCodeCamp. It's the sixth section, so we've gone through 5 of the 6 available sections on FreeCodeCamp, and this one is going to be the last one, the more complicated one, obviously. I'm going to try to structure this one a bit better than I've done before, so this is going to be in 4 parts. And in this first one, we're going to do the usual introduction to the project and installing stuff and so on. We'll be building a Metric-Imperial Converter. And that's a project that may as well have been a part of the previous section, in my opinion. In fact, if I were to do the course myself, or build up the FreeCodeCamp curriculum, I would probably switch this one for the exercise tracker. Well, anyway, the purpose of this course is to be able to input any real units, metric units, and have them converted to fake units, that is imperial units, or vice versa, so that you should be able to put in liters and get back gallons, or put in kilograms and get back pounds, or if you want to know what a mile is, you should get back kilometers and such. That's what we're going to build. And obviously we should start with just getting the repository done. So we have that here as usual. We go there and we'll go to clone or download. Just copy that, go to our folder. I'm actually inside of a folder already. So I'm just going to go for git clone here, and I'm going to clone that one. It's going to take a moment, apparently. It's good. And then we can cd into that. So boilerplate that. And obviously, if we run this, nothing really happens. I'm actually going to switch my VS Code folder as well. So we're in this one instead. So. And we're kind of used to this by now. We have a lot of different folders and stuff. In this section, these projects are going to be larger. So we see that here, that we have a lot more stuff here than we usually do. And we should not forget, obviously, that when we clone a repo, we should not get the node modules down. If you do get the node modules down, someone has made a mistake, because we don't want to put the node modules on GitHub. So we'll do an npm install here, so we get our node modules for the project. If you have a look at the actual code base here, you can see that we have a lot of stuff we haven't seen before. We do have our views here with the index.html. We do have our public here with the style.css. We're not going to touch either of those. We don't have to. We can, however, have a look at this HTML file, because as I said in the introduction video, there is an Ajax call happening here, and this one is good to just have a look at what it's doing, why it's happening, and that's basically it. We don't really have to care more about this one. It's not that important, but it's good to know that it's here. This is what's going to be called when we hit the submit button, when we try to convert kilometers to miles or whatever. Then this one is going to get called through Ajax. We're going to have controllers. We could use this file. We're meant to do that. I'm not going to. I don't see the point in actually using this file. But it's there to be used if you want to. We should, however, since we installed the node modules now, we should get a git ignore file, just so we have that done. So git ignore, and in here we just write node modules. We could obviously ignore the .env file, but we don't actually need one. It says in the README that we should have one, where it doesn't actually say that we should have one, but we should understand that. It tells us to set node_env to test, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to have an env file at all. It also says here that we should build a logic in controller's convert handler. But we're not going to do that either, because there's no point really. This project is not large enough for that to matter. So we're skipping that. Well, we can see that because we put node modules in the git ignore, the node modules folder is grayed out. So we know that we're not going to commit that to git if we were to commit this. What else? We do, let's see. Right, we do have our server.js folder still, and we do have a lot of stuff here. I'm actually going to go ahead and replace these ones and just go, oops, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to replace these in as right const. So again, I don't like that it says var there. I don't think it should. We're in 2020, we're not using var anymore, we shouldn't do that. And JavaScript has evolved, and we're using const on that instead. A little quirk with this repo is that inside of the package.json we actually have a reference to MongoDB, but we're not going to use that. And therefore it's not referenced here either. What we should have a look at though is that we have a reference to Express and body parser, and this one as well, so that we can use the API routes in here, because we are supposed to use this, and I'm not going to use them because I don't think it's necessary. And the reason I don't think it's necessary to do is because the reason we have this file is to move all of these API routes from the server.js file to this one. However, we only have one, so what's the point? We're gonna need it later on in other projects, but it's good to know that it's there, but we can actually make the choice ourselves. We don't need to do that. And we also have a couple of other references here, one to FCC testing and one to test runner. These ones we don't have to care about at all. They are supposed to be used by FreeCodeCamp when we submit this project, and they run their tests from the site to our project and do stuff, which as far as I know they never do, because they have thousands of people doing this course, and why would they test every individual person for this, since this is not an official course in any way. But it's there. That's also why we have course. Right. Let's see, what do we have else here? We do have this one. We should be able to just go ahead and try an npm start just to get this going. And this import undefined is a bit iffy. Let's see, what do we have here? This is not important at all, it's just annoying. Oops, let's go do that. Right. It's listening anyway, so let's just do this. Let's do that. Let's have a look at this. This is the project we have. There is no styling for it. We can style it if we want to. I'm not going to, because I don't really see the point in this. If you want to really be a good boy or girl and really do this project properly, you should obviously style it as you wish. But in my opinion, at this point in FreeCodeCamp, we've done that. We've done the styling, we've done the front end. This is meant to be the back end. We're supposed to do the testing and stuff, so we can actually leave this like this as long as we see what we're doing. So in some projects, we may have to do some styling. If you look at the user stories here, which we actually have, we have a user story that tells us to help prevent the sniffing the MIME type and prevent cross-service script attacks, I think it's called. Anyway, what this means is essentially use helmet. So let's skip that for now, but we're gonna have to use helmet for that to work. I can get an API convert with a single parameter containing an accept number and a unit and have it converted. That's obviously what the project is about, and I should be able to pass in something and get back another number and another unit. So you can read through these if you want to. It's helpful to do. What's interesting here to notice that we have both unit tests and functional tests here, and they should obviously all be passing, but for them to pass we have to write them first. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna start with just writing the code itself, the conversion code, the stuff that actually makes our app work. And then after that we're gonna write the stuff that checks if our app works or not. So let's go into the server.js file here again. And in here we can actually put a route below this one and just go app.route. No, we don't have to do that either. No, we're gonna do this. We're gonna make a function, and I'm gonna name this function is unit of measurement. And I realized after doing this project, I'm gonna name it is unit of measurement valid. I realized after doing this project, or when I started writing the tests, that this is not how they thought you should do it. But in code you can do it several different ways. So this is the way I did it. So we're gonna have a const split by regex, and here we're gonna have a unit that we pass into the function. So this one and that one are connected. So we're gonna go with this one to lowercase, like so. Because we're gonna large C, obviously, and then we're gonna split it, and we're gonna split it by D, and this one is obviously gonna split it by the digit. So if we write like 10L or 26 kg, you're gonna have letters and you're gonna have numbers. And you're splitting where there is no number anymore, basically. It's a very simple regex. Here we're gonna have if split by regex, and the last one here. So if that one, the last one, if that matches anything in this row, so we're gonna have a huge row here. We have gal, we're gonna have pounds, and we're gonna have miles, we're gonna have kilograms, we're gonna have liters, and we're gonna have kilometers. If this one matches anything here, then it's a valid unit, which is actually what we're checking. And if it's a valid unit, then we just return true. And if it's not a valid unit, we return false. So it's a pretty simple check. Apparently they wanted to do this check later on, but I figured that when you do the input, then that's when you want to check this. So we're gonna have another function where we check is unit, is number valid. And we need to check this as well, because there are several different ways to write the number, obviously. And for instance, we should not be able to write a number that's structured like this. There is no 2./7/7. You should nor be able to write something like this. 2.7/7. That's not a valid number. This is a valid number, and actually this is a valid number. But well, I don't think we should have that either. Actually, I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, we're gonna have a regex here as well. So split by regex, and then we have the number dot to lowercase from the top. Edit. So we're gonna have a number, and here's we're gonna have 2 lowercase. And why do we have 2 lowercase? Well, it's because we're not really sending in a number only, we're sending in a number and a unit, but we're only interested in the number. So we're going to split this by A to C, and we can do that. We're going to do this, obviously, it's a regex. And then we're going to check if this split by regex dot, and the first one actually, dot match. If that matches a number, or split by regex 0 is empty, then we're going to make another check as well. We're going to check if split by regex 0 dot split dot filter. So we're going to split it by every single character in it, and then we're going to filter it where the instance of that filtering equals a slash. So basically what we want to do is that we want to see if we have a number, and that should not be there, or if the string is empty, if the first one is empty, just like that. If we have any of these, we also want to check if this one contains several slashes, because it should not do that, obviously. A number cannot have several slashes. It can only have one. So if that one is great, let's see, top length is greater than 1. So then you return false, because it can't be like that. If it's not like that, you can just return true from here. And if this line is not true either, we just return false. So, and with that, we can go on and use these functions in a route call. So we can go for an actual route, and the route we're working with is always going to be this one, API convert. So we're going to go for localhost 3000, I guess we have, /API /convert, and here we should have something. I don't think this is going to give us anything right now because we haven't actually structured this. And anyway, let's do that. So we're going to have a get request here. We're actually not going to post anything here because that's done through our Ajax call, which is good to know that we're doing it that way. And here we're going to have a rec and res, request and response. That's what it stands for. And here I just like to just console log this so we know what we're getting. So we're console logging rec.query.input, and this is the request, obviously. So we query the request and the input from that part. So that's an object really. And here we go. If not, is unit of measurement valid of this one, rec.query.input, and is number valid, or not this number valid really. We go rec.query.input, and what we're checking here is obviously that if is the number valid and is the unit valid, or we're checking if they're not valid, both of them. And if they're not valid, then we just respond with res.send invalid number and unit. And then we have an else if, and we're gonna check then is if unit of measurement valid. So if the unit is valid, but the number is not valid, then we'll have to respond with, let's say number is not valid. Number is in, oh, we can, I think we have to respond with specific ones if I'm not mistaken. That's the wrong one. I'm gonna check here, readme. No. Trying to find our user stories. There it is. Oh. So we have to respond with right. So these ones are important for us. So we have to respond with invalid unit, invalid number, or invalid number and unit. And they have to be lowercase as well. And technically, we don't have to care that much about that, because we're the ones who are writing the test later on, so we could change these. But it's good to know that the user stories say one thing, and if we're going to follow the user stories, then our tests will not pass if we don't write it the right way here. So here we're going to have invalid number, and then we're going to go with an else if is not is unit of measurement valid and is number valid. So if that's the case, I see that I'm missing stuff. We're going to have to add this obviously to all these. Otherwise it doesn't know what to check for. Anyway, if this is the case, then we just respond with invalid unit instead, because the unit is wrong, the number is right. And if none of these cases are true, then we just go for an else, and we respond with a lot of stuff actually. We're not just gonna respond with a send, we're gonna respond with an object really. In a way. Yeah. So here we're gonna have an int num, and the init num, the initial number, we're gonna have convert handler dot get num of rec. I actually think I have, yeah, so. And then we'll have a const init unit where we go convert handler dot get unit. And this is a little bit confusing right now because we don't have these get unit and get the num functions. We're going to write those later. They're actually prepared in here. I may actually be using this one. Anyway, we have FreeCodeCamp has prepared these for us. We have get num, we have a get unit, get return unit, and so on. And I'm going to reference these here, but we haven't written them yet anyway. So it's a little bit confusing right now, but we're going to fix that later on. So we're going to have a const converted entry, and that's going to be a convert handler dot convert init num and init unit. We're also going to have const return num is a convert handler dot convert, not convert, get return unit, and there we're going to have the converted entry, so the last one here. And then we're going to have a similar one where we have const return unit where we go convert handler dot get spell out unit, and that's going to be of that. No, it's going to be the converted entry. So, and we're going to have a last one, and here we're going to have a return string, and this is the one we're actually returning to the user later on. So return string, convert handler, and then we're going to get string of init num, init unit, return num. And return, technically we don't actually need this return unit, it's actually unnecessary to put this one here, but I'm doing that to be a bit more clear about what we're doing. We're not actually using this one, we're not using the other three, but not that one. And then again, I like to just console log this when I'm doing the project, just to know what's what's happening really. So we're going to console log this converted entry here, just so we know if something goes wrong, we can just have a quick look at it. This should not be in production code, obviously. And then we're going to respond, and instead of responding with a string, we're actually going to respond with an object. So init num is going to be we should actually be able to, yeah, technically we could just do this, because JavaScript actually accepts this. But to be a bit more pedagogical, I'm actually going to do this. So you put init num as init num and init unit as init unit and so on. But you could theoretically actually remove one of those. And if you use something like ESLint, it's going to complain to you for doing that, for doing it this way. But I think it's a bit better to do it like this when you're learning and when you're teaching others. Because it's a bit more clear what's actually being done. And then you have return string. And I believe this object is actually part of our user stories. So we're going to go back here and we're going to see here. Right. This is what we're returning. So we're going to have to return the initial number, the initial unit, so 3.1 miles, and the return number, converted one, and the return unit, the converted unit, and what that actually means. So 3.1 miles converts to 5.5 kilometers. Yeah. So with that, we actually have a route written. We only have one route, as I said. We don't have any more. And I think this is the only project we have in this section where we only have one route, but we don't have to care about anything else here. We should probably go ahead and do one more thing though, and for that we need to do this. We have to go to helmet.js, and if we look in our code here, we don't actually have a reference to helmet. I do believe we have it in here, yeah. So helmet is in here, but we don't have it in our server.js file. But as we see in our user stories here, we should have sort of a reference to it. And what we need there is not a lot. Because if we look at this one, when you use helmet, we can actually go ahead and do that. We're going to require helmet. So we'll put that here, I guess. And then we're going to do an app.use helmet, like so. When you do this, you get a lot of stuff just by doing that. So if we have a look at the helmet documentation here, we should have protection against cross-server attacks there, and we should have no sniff stuff. So if you look at this, it's actually included by default on both no sniff and the XSS filter. I'm actually have to look at what it stands for. Yeah, whatever, it's bad. We don't want that. Anyway, my point is that all we need to do to fulfill these two first user stories is to install the helmet package, and that's it. We're actually done with that one, or those two actually. So we're done with those two. We have written a route, so we've done that. And in the next video, in the next part I should say, we are gonna have a look at creating these convert handlers we have here. So right now we have told Express, I guess, what should happen if we do any of these things, any of these, I mean, but not how to do them. So we're gonna have to do that in here.